Hi everyone. So today we will be discussing Mendeleev periodic table. So in the last session we were discussing the Newland's law of octaves, which was again a failure. That means we already studied the merits and demerits of Newland's law of octaves. So he only could arrange only elements up to thorium. And his assumption was on that every eighth element will show the property of the first element, but that too it is only applicable to the lighter element, still calcium. So that theory was rejected, and then comes a great scientist, and which is called as Dmitry Ivanovich Mendeleev. He is a Russian scientist, and he played a very important role in making this periodic table or classifying the elements in the periodic table, or the arrangement of elements in the periodic table. Okay, he was considered as one of the most prominent scientists in the and his role is very crucial while dealing with the classification of the periodic table. And the main credit goes to the Dmitry Ivanovich Mendeleev for classifying the elements. Okay, he has a lot of contributions he has done to make a well-known periodic table or the classification of elements. Okay. He also has taken two things as while classifying the elements. One is based on the fundamental property, that is atomic mass. Okay, he also arranged the elements in the increasing order of the atomic mass. So first he also has done with the fundamental property of atomic mass, and second is the similarity in chemical property. Okay, so similarity in chemical property. So these two he took as main thing while classifying the elements. That is, one is the atomic mass, and second is he arranged the elements where there are similarity in chemical properties. So these were the two things he took considered at that point of time while he was classifying the elements. But while he was classifying the elements, at that time only 63 elements were known. How many? 63 elements were known at that time while Mendeleev was doing the classification of elements. Okay. Now what he did is, he know that there are 63 elements, and he arranged these 63 elements in the increasing order of their atomic mass, okay, from 1 to 63. Okay. Newland till 56 elements were there like thorium, but when Mendeleev thing came, there were 63 elements in the altogether, and he classified or he arranged all these 63 elements in the increasing order of their atomic mass. Okay, now, and also he made the classification based on the similarity in physical and chemical properties. He took all these 63 elements and he studied the physical and chemical properties of these elements and go through the similarities in all these physical and chemical property. Okay. Now, among the chemical property, this Mendeleev concentrated on the compounds using hydrogen and oxygen. Okay. So, while he was doing the classification, he mainly concentrated or he mainly produced compounds with hydrogen and oxygen. Why he took hydrogen and oxygen as the main for the formation of compounds? Why? Because you know hydrogen and oxygen is very reactive, and it forms compounds with almost all elements. If you have gone through these compounds, we can see that almost all elements react with oxygen to form their corresponding oxides and hydrogen to form the corresponding hydrides, isn't it? So that is the main reason why Mendeleev took mainly hydrogen and oxygen to form compounds with these elements. So the reason is oxygen and hydrogen is very reactive in nature and it forms compounds with almost all elements. So he had done the oxides and hydrides, that is the main thing. So he prepared the oxides and hydrides of the elements, the 63 elements under the classification. Now, and he arranged a table which is called as Mendeleev periodic table. Now, which is given in your textbook. Please see the textbook. It is table 5.4. In a 5.4, there is a green table which is called as Mendeleev periodic table. Listen, it was the first attempt of the Mendeleev to have a period which has groups and periods that we will discuss later. So, he made a simple table and he classified all the 63 elements there. And mainly he made the compounds of hydrates and oxides. Okay, so this much you know. Now what happens is, he took these 63 elements or he took 63 cards, okay, like small cards, paper cards, okay. He cut like this 63 cards and he wrote the element and all its properties in. So if he took one element, he wrote all the properties, physical and chemical properties in that card, and he done this for all the 63 elements. So what he did? He took 63 cards and in each card he put the writings or the chemical and physical properties of each element and he made 63 cards of that type. Okay. Then what he did was, he made or he had gone through the physical and chemical properties and the elements having same chemical properties he pinned in the same way. Which means, for example, if this is A and this is B and this is C element, if he find the A and C has got similar property, he pinned that A and C in one place. So here there are about 12 cards, say for example. Here there will be 10 cards, here there will be 5 cards. So all similar chemical property elements he pinned up in one slot. Okay. And to his greatest surprise, what he realized that all the 63 elements he is able to get a place in the periodic table. That was his major credit in the classification of elements. You understand what I told? That means, you know, at that time when Mendeleev was creating the periodic table or arranging or classifying the periodic table, there were 63 elements. Now what he did? He took 63 cards and he wrote one by one element with all the properties, physical and chemical properties. Then what he did? He chose all the elements having same chemical property and make it into one group. Okay. Then other same physical and chemical property, other group. Okay. He pinned it up. He pinned it means this, it will come here and he pinned it. Okay. So to his greatest surprise, what he realized that all the 63 elements he could accommodate in that periodic table depending on the same chemical property. That was his greatest merit in the classification of elements. That is why we call him as the father of periodic table, just like or creator of a periodic table. Okay, so all the 63 elements got placed in that periodic table or the classification or arranging the periodic table. And you also know that he arranged the elements in the order of increasing atomic mass. The fundamental property he used was the atomic mass, and second is the similarity in physical and chemical property. And he made use of the compounds for hydrogen and oxygen, that is hydrides and oxides, since it is very reactive and almost all the elements will form hydrides and oxygens with corresponding oxygen and hydrogen. That's why he took hydrogen and oxygen for that reason. Now one more very important property he could come across while doing the classification is, he realized a property which is called as periodicity of elements. See, very, very important. That is, by arranging the elements in the increasing order of their atomic mass, he come to know that some elements have same physical and chemical properties. There will be a recurrence of physical or chemical properties are shown in that arrangement. Which means what? Periodicity means, as Newland says, every eighth element, after every eighth element, it shows the property of the first element, isn't it? So that means the first element and the eighth element has got the same chemical property or physical property, mainly chemical property. That is why they comes under the same group, or he put under the same group, like sodium or potassium or fluorine or chlorine, like that. In the same way, the recurrence of the properties are seen while he was arranging or classifying the periodic table. Which means, same as the Newland's theory, little bit of. That means, while he was classifying the elements according to the chemical property, after some groups or after some arrangement, again the same property is coming on the first arrangement. Which means, the analogy is like that. Every eighth element has brought the property of the first element. That means it's a periodicity. After every eighth element, then the coming element will have the same property as the first element, isn't it? So eighth and the first element will have the same property. So that is called as periodicity of elements. So after certain intervals, again it will come back to that group of elements which has got the same chemical property. That is called as periodicity of elements. Or in one word, I can say periodicity means a recurrence of chemical properties, or recurrence of chemical properties is called as periodicity. That means at regular intervals. For example, Newland said after every eighth element it is showing the same property. Likewise, Mendeleev also has predicted that there is a periodicity or there is a recurrence of the same property after certain intervals. It may be 8 elements or it may be 18 elements, like that. Or it may be after 32 elements it is coming to the same property. So whatever be that, after certain regular intervals, after putting these elements in certain groups and after certain regular intervals, it will again show the same chemical property. So he can put the same chemical property elements in one group. That was again his greatest achievement. Okay. So that is called as periodicity. So now you know what is periodicity. Periodicity is nothing but the recurrence of property. Which means what? Recurrence of property means, I will say, for example, if you are not getting into it, the recurrence means, see, for example, sodium. Okay, after the 8th element again comes potassium or lithium. If I take lithium, 3. Lithium is 3. So after the 8th element means plus 8 is 11. That comes sodium. Correct. Just to give an example to know more. So then this means that what? After 8th element, that means the interval is 8th element. Okay, the interval is 8th element, or you can have interval of 18 elements. After 18 elements, the 19th element will have the same property as the first element. So that depends upon what interval is it. Correct. So if you say this lithium and sodium after every 8th element, so interval is 8. After each 8th element, the next element will show the same property as sodium. That is called as recurrence of property. Now recurrence means what? See, if you examine the physical and the chemical properties of these elements, you can have, for example, the electronic configuration is 2, 1, 2, 8, 1, etc. So what is the property here? Similar, the valence electron is 1. So depend the electronic configuration, the valence electron is 1. If same valence electron is there, it will show same chemical property, isn't it? Then physical property, if you come across a physical property, what is it? It is an alkali metals, isn't it? Both are alkali metals. So it will form ionic compounds. Solubility in water. Okay, high melting and boiling point. So all the physical property is same for lithium, sodium, etc. Chemical property means the combination. For example, if you are wondering how chemical properties are same. For example, if this wants to combine with lithium, it will be LiCl. See? Now sodium, same NaCl. See the formula? Why? Because it has same electronic configuration in the outer orbit. And this valence electrons are taking part in chemical reaction. So that is the chemical similarity. Correct? The valency is one chemical similarity, isn't it? The properties, the chemical property, this forms what? Alkali. That is lithium hydroxide. What are alkali? That is bases which are soluble in water. Bases which are soluble in water means what? LiOH or NaOH. Both these are alkalis, isn't it? That is why it is called as alkali metal. See, same chemical property. So you can have number of chemical properties same. That is why we say the lithium, sodium is all under one group which shows same chemical property. That is why it is grouped in one group. Okay? It is put in one group. Now I think you know what is periodicity. That is, periodicity means the recurrence of the chemical properties at regular intervals. That means every 8th element, next element will have the same property of the first element, like intervals. So you can say the recurrence of properties, or if you can say chemical properties after regular intervals is called as periodicity. You have to write the value point as recurrence. Recurrence means repeated. Repeatedly he is noticing that, the Mendeleev is noticing that repeatedly when he classified the elements or arranged the elements in specific points or specific place, he has given every element a specific place. Now while he was arranging that, he come to notice that at particular intervals, he noticed that there is a periodicity in chemical property. Isn't it? That is recurrence. Repeatedly it is coming as same property. So all that elements having the same property, he put it in one place or one group. Now you understood what is periodicity? Okay. Now then after this periodicity has occurred, he possessed a law, or he defined a law, or he stated a law which is called as Mendeleev law. What is it? Mendeleev law. And the Mendeleev law states that the properties of the elements, property means specifically chemical property, but in definition it is not clarifying it. It just says that the properties of the elements are periodic functions of their atomic masses. It's very, very important. This was the first law which is called as the Mendeleev law. What Mendeleev's law states, the properties. Okay, if it is a law, you have to write it in inverted quotes. Okay, so properties of elements. Okay, properties of elements are periodic functions of their atomic masses. So this is called as Mendeleev's law. One more law is there. That is modern periodic law. This is Mendeleev periodic law. So what is Mendeleev periodic law? Mendeleev periodic law states that the properties of the elements are periodic functions. It is periodic functions. That is, periodicity is there. Recurrence of similarity in the properties are there. That is why they are periodic functions of their atomic masses, because he took atomic masses as a fundamental property. Correct? Now you know what is periodicity, what is Mendeleev periodic law. It states that the properties of elements are periodic functions of their atomic masses. Okay. And he took 63 elements, and all the 63 elements got placed in the his periodic table, which is called as Mendeleev periodic table. Correct? So this is how he has gone through the classification of the periodic table. But it was not exactly 100% correct. But he continued his research on classification of this or arranging the periodic table. So, you can just refer to the table 5.4 in that. I will give you something. There you can see, just go through, just take your textbook and see the table 5.4. There you can see there is a Mendeleev periodic table there in a green thing. There are 6 periods and 8 groups. You are seeing that. Groups, it is written Roman letter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then they have written oxide and hydride. You see, oxide and hydride. And after that they have written periods. That is, periods means what? First, second, third, like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In the fourth it is first series and second series. Fifth is first series. So don't go into all the details. Just what I want to do is, you have seen oxide and hydride there, right? Oxide and hydride. Then they have given formula for that. Please see that in the first group it is written as R2O and RH. See? You got it? First is R2O and RH, which means what? The first group, the formula for hydride and oxides are, shall I rub this? Yes. So it means that the first group, see, it is like group first, second, third up to 8. Okay, now the oxide and the hydride formulas are given. What is it? In the first group, if you look into it, it is R2O and RH. See? It is R2O and RH, which means what? R is the element there. For example, if I say write the oxide of an element which is in the first group and in the first period. Listen, write, because in board exam they will give you this entire table, Mendeleev periodic table, this one, oxides and hydrides, and then they will ask the question, that is, write the formula for hydrides and oxides of an element which is in the 5th group and 3rd period. Like that questions has already come in the board exam. That's why I took this. So first I will tell you how to write. Then you can, as a homework, you can write the oxides and hydrides of every group. Now if you see the first group, it is R2O and RH. R2O is the oxide and RH is the hydride. Now if I say write the hydride formula or oxide formula of group 1 element and period 1. How will you find out? You just go through group 1 and take the period 1. Now which element is coming in both this? It is hydrogen, isn't it? Hydrogen. So how will you write? How will you write the oxide for hydrogen? First period. This is period, correct? This is period. So first group, first period, which is the element, that is hydrogen, isn't it? Now what is the oxide? The oxide is water. So just you put R, the element, that's all. So the oxide is water and the hydride is just hydrogen, H2, that's it. Correct. One more. Write in the second, for example, third group, the oxide is R2O3 and RH3. See, the formula they will give. Okay, it is in there, in the text, in that question paper, it will be there. Now they will ask the question, write the formula of hydride and oxide of third group and third period. See, third period, first, second, and this is not Roman letter, first, second and third. So here the element is Si, silicon. Just see the table in your textbook. It is Si. That is, sorry. Third and third is aluminium. Sorry, aluminium. Fourth is silicon. So you go for the, you take third period, third group, you just come across downwards, and third period, in which element it will meet? It will meet aluminium. See? Then you write the oxide. Just you put R, the element. So it will be Al2O3 is the oxide and AlH3 is the hydride. So this is how the question asks. Write the hydrides and oxides for the element which is in so and so group and so period. So you can write, so homework is write all the oxides and hydrides till 8th group and till 3rd period. Don't go for 4th, 5th and 6th. Only till 8th group and 3rd period. All the oxides and hydrides, the elements which are there in that table, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 elements. Altogether there are 15 elements. So homework is, for these 15 elements, write the oxide and the hydride. Okay. Then you will be able to write that in the exam. Okay, no problem. So that is about the Mendeleev's periodic table. Okay. Now, so that is about the first contribution of this Mendeleev's periodic table. Now we will see what are the achievements or merits of this Mendeleev's periodic table. So whenever a theory comes, there will be a merit or advantage as well as a disadvantage. If the disadvantage is too long or too much, then that theory will be also discarded and the next new theory will come. So now we will see what are the merits or the advantages of this Mendeleev's periodic table. Okay. So hope you got this table and writing the oxide and the hydride. Correct? Any doubt, just call me. Now we will go to the advantages of Mendeleev's periodic table. Okay. Just as we studied the advantages of Newland's octave theory and disadvantage of Newland's octave theory, here also the advantages of Mendeleev's periodic table. Okay. There are 3 advantages mainly. The first advantage is, and the first merit, instead of advantage we call it as merit. Okay, merit of Mendeleev's periodic table. Now the first merit of this Mendeleev's periodic table was, see, you can see, just go through this this table once again. Just go through the table, take your table once again. Just go through the table 5.4. Just take it. Okay. In that, just see the 8th group. Just go through the 8th group. It is written as transition series and you come across in the 4th period, you will have 3 elements there. Just go through it. Just see where I am telling correct. 3 elements are there, that is iron, cobalt and nickel. 3 elements are there, iron, cobalt and nickel. Okay. Now just see very carefully what is written there, atomic mass. Just see what is written as the atomic mass. Its atomic mass is 55.85, 58.93 and 58.71. See? Just see whether the atomic mass is correct. What was the Mendeleev's predictions or Mendeleev's postulates or Mendeleev's clarifications on giving the periodic classification or classification of elements? It was based upon 2 things, 2 very, very important things, isn't it? One is the fundamental property, that is atomic mass. And what he did, he arranged the elements in the order of increasing atomic mass. Very carefully listen. Underline, increasing. But see what happens here in this. Is it increasing? 55.85, 58.93 and 58.71, which means 71 should have come here, nickel should have come here and cobalt should have gone there. But he didn't do that. He inverted these elements like this. Instead of nickel and cobalt, he inverted like this. He put cobalt first and nickel second. Why? Because it shows similar properties of the other elements in that group. For example, ruthenium, rhodium and palladium, isn't it? Palladium. Then it comes osmium, iridium and platinum. So when these, it is called as transition series. You will study in the next 11th standard. So this is called as transition metals. Only 63 were there, but actually we know 119 elements are there altogether. But at that point of time, when Mendeleev started his classification or arrangement of classification of this periodic table, only 63 were there. So we are already considering the 63. Now in that he said that he arranged the elements with same chemical properties, isn't it? Same chemical property. So he put all these in one group, that is the eighth group. See, eighth group. But still there was a confusion. But Mendeleev didn't took it as a confusion. He took it as an achievement for his. He boldly said that no, I can't put nickel here and cobalt there. Why? Even though its atomic mass is greater, just leave that. He said just leave that and concentrate on chemical property. That is more important. See, whenever a chemist theory is discarded, next scientists will go after that. Whatever they left or whatever their disadvantage, they will pick up from the disadvantage and make it advantage. How it will be merit. Like that the research goes. R&D goes always like that. So, he said that never mind, leave it. We will just concentrate on chemical properties. And he is damn sure that this cobalt, ruthenium and iridium has got the same chemical property, and that is the reason he inverted this nickel there and cobalt here. And that was a meritorious achievement. If he has done nickel here and cobalt here, according to the increasing in the atomic mass, he has failed. Why? Because nickel doesn't show similar chemical property of rhodonium and iridium, RH and IR. So he boldly took a step saying that leave that leave that atomic mass. It will come in some portions. You can see one more portions or two more portions where atomic mass is greater he put. Just find it on that periodic table. Where are the two things where atomic mass is slightly greater? He put that 2 in 1. Where the atomic mass is slightly greater he put first and the lesser he put second. Just clarify with that table. Just find out which elements are there. Okay. So he put like that. That was a bold step. So that was his first achievement. That is, he put or he made the elements in group with similar chemical properties. Even though in some places he has to invert the elements for being atomic number greater, he never mind. So that was his first achievement. So what was his first merit? He put or he arranged the elements according to the increasing order of their atomic mass, but still he inverted some elements in atomic masses. Why? Because for the similarity in chemical properties. So that was his first merit or first advantages. That is, he inverted some elements. There are only, its inversion is only 2 or 3 places. Rest all increasing atomic mass. So he inverted some elements of atomic masses just to make sure that their chemical properties are same. That was the first merit. Now second very important, very bold step he took was, he left gaps. What do you mean by gaps? This is okay, right? What do you mean by gaps? Gaps means while he was arranging some elements, he thought, see his vision, see his futuristic vision. He thought that there some element must be there to discover. See, he was filling the gaps. So he was filling that periodic table. He classifies that periodic table in their chemical property. He left some gap in some places. Okay, so he left some gaps. That is the second one. He left some gaps which he knowingly know that there must be some element to discover at that place, to fill that place. See? Somebody will discover at some point of time that element. So for that element he give that place in the periodic table. So he left that place and then he go to the next thing, whether for where the chemical properties are same. So that was a very big step for him. So what happens then, when other scientists discovered the elements, that element comes and fit in that gap, because that element shows similar properties in that special group. Okay, that such one group is, or he said that, or he named that as, he put a Sanskrit as Eka. He put Eka, which means, for example, I will tell you how he did. See, there was elements like boron, aluminium and silicon. Okay. There were elements when he was classified, there were elements boron, aluminium and silicon. Now what happens? While arranging the periodic table, in these three, the next preceding element, there were no elements, so he put gaps there. Okay, but he gave the name, even though there is no element. At some point of time, someday, somebody will discover, he knew that. So he gave the name as, in this element which was yet to discover. Okay, he gave the name as Eka boron. Okay. This is Eka aluminium and this is Eka silicon. In Sanskrit, Eka means one, preceding. The one preceding this will be named as Eka boron. So whenever a compound will come, it will be named as Eka boron for him, because there is an element yet to discover. Okay, and Eka aluminium and Eka silicon. Okay, so and what happened? When Eka boron was discovered, and what happens is, and even though that element was not discovered, he made the properties, or he listed out the properties of that Eka boron. He listed out the properties of the Eka boron. So these are the properties of this Eka boron, or the element which has to be discovered, which he named it as Eka boron. Now to a greater surprise, when scandium was found. Okay, so Eka boron was considered as scandium. When scandium element was found or discovered, scandium means Sc. When scandium element was discovered, this has got the same property as boron. See how intelligent and clever he is. So when scandium was discovered, he made the analysis, what Mendeleev told as Eka boron the property, which is exactly the same as the scandium property. So Eka boron was named after, which is named scandium. Correct. And at the same time, aluminium, after Eka aluminium, it was found as gallium. When gallium element was discovered, this Eka aluminium, the properties of that Eka aluminium was in coincidence with the new element gallium. So the gap, the gaps were there, no? There were no element. So the element was put in this gap. Correct. And at the same time, silicon, the Eka silicon was found to be germanium. See? So this was the second merit of this Mendeleev's periodic table. That means first is inverted some element in the atomic mass in order to give same chemical properties together. Second is he left some gaps. Very important. He left some gaps and he named that element, the preceding element, as Eka. He gave the name Eka. In Sanskrit it is one. Eka. So boron, after boron he stated it will be Eka boron. whenever somebody discover, it will have the same property what boron has. And exactly that happened. When scandium was discovered, whatever Mendeleev was written in that Ega-boron property, it comes just like that. So it is scandium. In the same way, aluminium, it is gallium, and silicon, it is germanium. So that was his second merit. Very, very important. Okay. And the last merit is, when at the time of his classification, only 63 elements were there, and at that time, the noble gases were not discovered at that time. What are noble gases? You know, helium, neon, argon, krypton and xenon. See, these elements are not discovered at that time. They are noble gases because they are unreactive. Their octet is full. Now, when they discovered, or when the noble gases were discovered later, after many years, these noble gases were discovered. But one main thing happened. What happened? When noble gases were discovered, these noble gases could accommodate a separate group in the periodic table without making any rearrangement in this main group, or without affecting the periodic table as such. The last group or the noble gas group, he can accommodate on the last group in the periodic table. That was his main predict. So these were the three merits or advantages of Mendeleev's periodic table. The first one is, he arranged the elements in the same chemical property, even though he reverted or inverted some elements in order to make the chemical property same. Second is, he left some gaps and named the preceding element as Ega, like boron, Ega boron, aluminium, Ega aluminium, silicon, Ega silicon. And after this was discovered like scandium, gallium and germanium, these Ega boron properties, whatever Mendeleev has there in this clarification, this was found to be same. So he left some gaps for the elements to discover and named that elements as Ega with the preceding element. Correct? If it is boron, the next will be Ega boron. For the preceding element from boron, the preceding element will be Ega boron. So like that he named it. And the last is, noble gases, he give a separate group without altering the main periodic table. He give the noble gas elements a separate group without disturbing the main group. So that was the three advantages of Mendeleev's periodic table. Is it clear? Now we will see what are the disadvantages of Mendeleev's periodic table. So that we will have in the next session. So till then, what you have to do, you have so many homeworks today. Draw the Mendeleev's periodic table, and then write the hydrides and oxides of the 15 elements. Then there are two more places where the atomic masses are different. So find out that two places where the atomic masses are elements. If any doubt, please get me clarification through WhatsApp or phone. Till then, thank you.